Every year, in the sacred city of Puri, something extraordinary takes place. Millions of devotees gather from every corner of the world. They wait for hours, sometimes even days, for a single glimpse of three magnificent chariots carrying Lord Jagannath, Lord Balabhadra, and Devi Subhadra. The air fills with the sound of coach cells, the streets echoes with chants of Jai Jagannath, and thousands of hands come together to pull the sacred ropes of chariots. But have you ever wondered, why does Lord Jagannath leave his temple only once every year? Why do millions consider this journey to be one of the holiest festivals in the world? Why does even the King of Puri sweep the road before the Lord's chariot? And what is the deeper meaning behind this centuries old tradition that continues to unite millions of people? Rath Yatra is far more than a grand procession. It is a celebration of faith, humility, devotion, and the eternal bond between the Lord and his devotees. So today, let's uncover the fascinating story, the timeless traditions, and the true meaning behind one of the world's greatest spiritual festivals. This is the story behind the Rath Yatra. Every year, for almost 358 days, Lord Jagannath resides inside the sacred Jagannath Temple in Puri. But for just 1 week, something extraordinary happens. The Lord leaves his temple. This is perhaps the only festival in the world where the deity himself comes out to meet his devotees, instead of waiting for the devotees to come to him. But why? According to tradition, this annual journey is a reminder that the Lord belongs to everyone. Not everyone can enter the Jagannath temple, whether because of distance, circumstances, or temple customs. So once every year, Lord Jagannath steps out of his sanctum and travels among the people, giving every devotee an opportunity to receive his blessings. His destination is the Gundicha Temple, located about 3 kilometers away. But this isn't just a short journey from one temple to another. For devotees, it is a journey of love. Many believe the Gundicha Temple represents the home of his beloved devotees, and Rath Yatra symbolizes the Lord joyfully going to visit them, just as a family member visits loved ones. And that's why millions gather every year, not simply to witness a procession, but to welcome the Lord as he welcomes to them. Yet, this raises another question. If Lord Jagannath is worshipped as Lord Krishna, why does he look so different from every other form of Krishna? Why the large round eyes? Why the unfinished hands and feet? The answer lies in one of the most fascinating stories in Hindu tradition. As the three magnificent chariots stand ready to begin their journey, thousands of eyes wait for the moment the ropes will be pulled. But before the Rath Yatra can begin, an extraordinary ritual takes place. The Gajapati Maharaj of Puri, regarded as the foremost servant of Lord Jagannath, walks towards the chariots dressed in royal attire. Yet, in that moment, he sets aside every symbol of power. Holding a golden broom, he gently sweeps the platforms of the chariots and sprinkles them with fragrant water. This sacred ritual is known as Chera Pahara. At first glance, it may seem like a simple act of cleaning, but its meaning is far deeper. It reminds us that no matter how powerful, wealthy, or respected a person may be, everyone is equal before the Lord. Even a king does not stand above God, he serves. This beautiful tradition has been followed for centuries, carrying a message that remains just as relevant today True greatness is found not in authority but in humility. Only after this ritual is complete do the devotees take hold of the massive ropes. With chants of Jai Jagannath echoing through the streets of Puri, the chariots slowly begin to move. For many devotees, this is the most emotional moment of the entire festival. They believe that pulling the Lord's chariot is not merely an act of strength, it is an act of devotion, a way of surrendering one's heart to the Lord and walking alongside Him on His sacred journey. But have you ever noticed that there isn't just one chariot? There are three, and each of them carries a story of its own. As the procession begins, three magnificent chariots roll through the streets of Puri. At first glance, they may look similar, but each one is unique. The first is Nandi Ghosha, the grand chariot of Lord Jagannath. The second is Taladwaja, carrying his elder brother, Lord Balabhadra. And the third is Darpadalana, the chariot of Devi Subhadra, who journeys between her two brothers. Every year, these chariots are built entirely from wood by skilled artisans following traditions that have been preserved for centuries. Once the festival is over, they are never reused. The following year, new chariots are built again, reminding us that while traditions remain eternal, everything in this world is constantly renewed. The destination of this sacred journey is the Gundicha Temple. There, Lord Jagannath, Lord Balabhadra, and Devi Subhadra stay for several days before returning to the Jagannath Temple in what is known as Bahuda Yatra or the return journey. But beyond the rituals and the grandeur of the festival lies a message that has touched millions of hearts for generations. Rath Yatra reminds us that the Lord does not wait for His devotees to reach Him. Instead, He comes to them. He leaves the sanctum of the temple, travels through the streets, and blesses everyone regardless of caste, wealth, status, or background. Perhaps that is why people wait all year for this one journey, not just to see the Lord, but to feel that for one divine moment, the distance between God and His devotees disappears completely. And maybe that is the true spirit of Rath Yatra. Every year, as the chants of Jai Jagannath echo through the streets of Puri, millions of devotees gather with folded hands and tearful eyes. Some come seeking blessings, some come with prayers, and some come simply to witness a tradition that has been alive for centuries. But now perhaps you will see Rath Yatra a little differently. It is not just the movement of three magnificent chariots, it is a reminder that the Lord never distances Himself from His devotees. Instead, He steps out of His temple and walks among them. He reminds us that no matter who we are, where we come from, or what burdens we carry, His doors are never truly closed. That is why millions wait all year for this one journey, not because the Lord needs a chariot, but because we need the reminder that the divine is never far away. The next time you see the ropes being pulled, don't just see thousands of hands. See millions of hearts moving together with one faith, one hope, and one prayer. Perhaps that is the true meaning of Rath Yatra, a journey where it is not only the Lord who travels, but where every devotee takes one step closer to Him. Jai Jagannath.